Hello and welcome to the latest edition of Untitled Reviews. Now for this video we're going to be taking a look at Razer's now famed and lauded by esports players headset, the Blackshark V2, which is a headset designed with the esports player in mind, thanks to features such as the Triforce 50mm drivers and memory foam ear cushions that look to make it a very decent bit of kit. Coming in at a price of $99.99 and offering a purely wired connection, it does seem a little bit more expensive than some may be willing to pay, but for those esports pros out there, does it stand up against the competition? And inside the box of the Blackshark V2, you get the headset itself, complete with detachable mic piece, documentation, and associated USB sound card. Now, by virtue of its more minimalistic design, it would actually be very easy to say that the Blackshark V2 isn't your typical gaming headset. By opting for a more sophisticated look that's been characterised by its matte black plastic construction and small green smatterings overall. And whilst it's certainly sturdy and rather well built, thanks to this hard plastic construction, I can't help but think that it's maybe missing those usual headset looks that gamers may crave. For instance, Razer's usual design cues of voluminous padding, RGB lighting, and kind of the usual bulky nature of more gamer-like headsets, like their famed Kraken line. Actually, we've got a video, one of the more popular videos on this channel is actually of the budget variant of that particular headset, Razer's Kraken X Lite, and you can go and check that out on the channel page. To be honest, going for a less gamer-like look isn't probably such a bad thing, and going for a simpler design actually means that the Blackshark V2 has been designed and probably built with more than just your traditional hardcore gamer in mind. And this actually leads me on to something that is quite striking about the Blackshark V2. By comparison to some of its competition and also some slightly more expensive headsets like Logitech's G Pro X Wireless, the Blackshark V2, whilst it may have some rather light memory foam ear cups and slight amounts of padding over the top that help to make it quite a light headset, there isn't as much padding as on other headsets. The padding that is present is rather nice and soft, and it's also made of this quite nice breathable fabric as well, which helps for those long gaming sessions. But to be honest, when they're on my head, they do feel a little bit loose, even if the headband is on its tightest setting. I'm somebody who likes quite a snug-fitting headset, just for the sake of also immersion and comfort as well. And so for me, something a little bit snugger would have been perhaps a little bit better. Now, even without it being so snug-fitting, I do have to say that the passive noise isolation that the Blackshark V2s offer is actually remarkably good. And as I say, the memory foam ear cups and also the fact the headset is rather light overall does make them comfortable to wear for a prolonged period of time. And furthermore, that minimalistic design that I was referencing earlier is also backed up by the fact that there's only a couple of onboard media controls, which is certainly easy to access. Razer have opted for something rather similar, rather simple, given there's a rather tactile volume mute button that I'm pushing down there, and also this quite garish, that some may argue, protruding volume knob, which has these kind of little tactile bumps as you get to the middle and to the end, so you know when you're at the middle of your volume range, so you don't have to take off the headset and adjust it. It's certainly a convenient place of putting it, although some may disagree with its rather obnoxious position, if you like, and its protrusion. And now, as is rather traditional with a lot of headsets these days, Razer have opted for a detachable and rather flexible microphone, and which just slots rather easily onto the headset, like so, and then away you go. And the fact it's flexible is rather nice if you're in the middle of a long gaming session and you want to push it out the way so you can have a drink or something like that, or just talk to other people outside of your Discord or Zoom call or something, or whatever you're using to play. And to be honest, even with a more plastic construction than the headphones themselves, the mic is of decent quality by way of its build. Another thing to note is that the Blackshark V2s do come with a fixed wired cable that is ended by a 3.5mm jack, like so, which means that they are compatible with pretty much any device that has a 3.5mm audio jack, so be it phones, laptops, computers, etc. However, to get the full features out of the Blackshark V2, as we'll discuss in a small moment, you do have to make use of its included sound card that has a 3.5mm audio jack on one end and a USB bit on the other. That essentially installs all the relevant drivers and whatnot just to make it, to give you the best experience possible. Of course, as with any audio-related device, performance and the sound quality and listening experience is going to be subjective, but what I'm going to try and do now is give you my take on the Blackshark V2. Well, what it does overall is provide users with a rather balanced experience that also features decent out-of-the-box surround sound, sound staging and audio position. And even with that balanced, Razer's Blackshark V2 does have a little bit more emphasis on the lows and highs, yet does come with a remarkably nice bassy and slight mid-range drive. Razer's 50mm Triforce drivers that come equipped with the Blackshark V2 have done the business in providing quite the powerful sound here. And that low-end drive is particularly useful on games like Counter-Strike, where you need to be able to position those hammering gunshots in order to know where to fire, and also working well on those songs that perhaps rely a little bit more on the low end. And what that really does, with a little bit more emphasis on the lows and highs, is provides a slightly different listening experience that highlights some other bits in songs that you might not have realised yet. I'll come on to software in a moment, and so what I'm going to do is just skip straight to compatibility. As a wired headset, as I say, the compatibility of the Blackshark V2 is good. It's not plagued by the same issue that Logitech's G Pro X wireless is, by way of only being able to connect to devices that have a USB port. The fact that the Blackshark V2 has a USB sound card that allows you to unlock pretty much all of its functionality is great, but if you do just want to use it as a sole pair of headphones for conferencing with the included microphone, or just as a pair of headphones, it will work on practically anything that has a 3.5mm audio jack, be it my 2020 MacBook Pro, a desktop PC, or my Xbox Series X if it's plugged in with a controller. Now, whilst the audio quality of the Blackshark V2s may be pretty good, the same probably can't be said for its microphone. It's decent enough for a headset, and it's probably not so bad for a headset that is practically sub 100 quid. But to be honest, if you do want to spend 100 quid and you're just looking for sole microphone performance, it's probably best to stick with an actual dedicated microphone, be it through USB or XLR. But what Razer have done here, as is pretty much customary with most gaming-oriented headsets, they've opted for a cardioid microphone, which fundamentally means that the sound that's picked up from the front is more prominent than that from the back and sides. For instance, the Rode NT USB that we use to record these videos normally features a cardioid pickup pattern, and so it's great for picking up my voice, but not so much the things that are going on around me. The mic does sound relatively okay here, if not a little bit tinny, but then again, no headset microphone anyway is practically perfect. You can fiddle with it in Razer Synapse, as I'll come on to in the next section, offering you the chance to use a graphic equalizer to kind of balance up the audio a bit, as you'll see in the next bit, but to be honest, out of the box it does sound a little bit compressed. Another thing to note about this, much like other headset microphones like on Logitech's G Pro X wireless and also some more budget oriented USB microphones, it does only record in mono. So if you want to record in stereo, you're going to have to record your inputs in here, in Audacity for instance, or something like that, and then just double it up and make it a stereo track. That's just something to bear in mind. Of course, as with any gaming-grade headset, it's probably no real surprise that Razer, with the Blackshark V2, have decided to integrate it with their marvellous and probably now legendary Synapse 3 software. Although, to be honest, judging by what's on the screen, you could probably argue that it's a bit of a three-way marriage between not only the Blackshark V2 and Synapse 3, but also the included USB sound card that Razer provides that really does help to unlock the Blackshark V2's full gaming potential. And as you'll see across the top, there's a myriad of different options, including the mixer, the enhancement and the microphone, and we're going to come on to all of those in this little segment. The Blackshark V2 makes use of Razer's rather good THX spatial audio, and there's options here to fiddle with the spatialization. There's a nice auto option or manual. So for instance, if I wanted to fiddle with Assassin's Creed Unity, for instance, you could have a bit of a choice between whether you wanted to use it for, say, a gaming mode or others, as you'll see in a sec. So there's all sorts really, so you can have it with gaming mode, music or movies, and that's also true, say, for like Automobilista, for instance, although Windows doesn't like to pick up drop-down menus, which is a bit of a damn shame. Or if you just want to let If you just want to let Razer do it for you, then there's the option to have it auto. With regards to that spatial audio, there's obviously the option to fiddle with everything until your heart's content. So if you want to move the position of every single audio segment, then you can. Much like Logitech provide with their G-Hub software, Razer also with Synapse 3 offer you a myriad of presets when it comes to the included equalizer, and it all comes wrapped up in this rather intuitive interface. So if you want to fiddle with all those frequencies, be it lows, mids or highs, Razer give you the option to do so. Or if you just want to use the default game, movie music or custom presets, then there's also the option to do that as well. Razer also provides you with some nice little switches for things like boosting the bass or increasing the clarity of your vocals, so it's only you that's coming through, or actually the voices of the people that are coming through, as well as normalizing the sound to make sure everything is crisp and sharp. This is also especially true rather nicely for the microphone presets, where Razer provide you, of course, with the option to fiddle with your microphone volume and boost up your audio over any particular sounds that you might be hearing in the headphones, as well as, again, the option to use a microphone equalizer, so you can once again fiddle with pretty much everything with your own voice, with the lows, mids and highs, as well as all sorts of things such as vocal enhancement and side tone monitoring. So if you want to use ambient noise reduction, then you can as well. So, in conclusion then, is the Razer Blackshark V2 worth a pickup? Well, if you're somebody who wants a rather comfortable gaming experience, then the Blackshark V2 can deliver on that promise. Even though it's got a slight lack of padding, the fact it's rather light and the memory foam fabric that it uses for the ear cups and headband is breathable is a rather nice bonus. It doesn't feel like you've got a brick on your head like some heavier headsets that may have some more intrusive padding. And also, given the fact that it's a wired headset, the Blackshark V2 is ideal for those who want a headset that will be a jack of all trades. The fact it also comes on the end with a 3.5mm jack means its compatibility is practically endless. And also, if you're somebody who kind of wants to go solo and just wants to use it as a pair of headphones, this probably makes sense given the fact that the weakest point of the Blackshark V2, as you just heard, is the microphone. But then again, it's probably okay if you're just using it for some light gaming with your mates, or just conference calls. As I say, if you want to stream or create content properly, then it's probably best to invest in a dedicated microphone. However, if you're somebody that's on if you're on a tight budget, there are probably some better headsets out there than the Blackshark V2 that's going to do exactly what you want for maybe half the price. A good example of that is either the Kraken X Lite that we've featured on this channel, or the HyperX Cloud Stingers, and that were my go-to budget headset for many years. Also, as I say, if you value microphone performance and you're somebody who wants to get into content creating or streaming, then the Blackshark V2 may not be the right product for you. Or if you want something rather tight-fitting, given the fact that the padding here is less extensive than that of others. But as I say, if you're just looking for a headset that's going to do you well for some decent gaming experience, that's comfortable, and you don't want something that's too tight on your head that's going to give you too much strain and is just going to be an all-round comfortable bit of kit, then the Blackshark V2 gets the thumbs up from us. Now, all that really remains to be said is that if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and indeed subscribe to the channel, and also to ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. To follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Links should be appearing on the screen right about now. And also to check out the blog in the description as well. There should be some articles down there on the side that we hope you find interesting and exciting to read. Also, another aside is that there's now a Teespring store where you can pick up some marvellous Untitled merch, be it if you're looking for t-shirts, mugs, sweatshirts, hoodies, wall art and whatnot. There's all the stuff down there, and Teespring do ship worldwide, which is absolutely marvellous. And also, if you like any of the kit that we feature in these videos, be it this Blackshark V2 headset, or any of the myriads of keyboards, mice, headsets and other mics that we have reviewed on this channel over the last few months, then there'll be Amazon links down in the description of each video where you can pick them up. So thank you very much for watching.